man's best self disappears after heartbreak? Is that emotional growth or emotional damage?
That nigga hurt. Nigga, you hurt. Let's keep it real. Nigga, you
Facts. That's
like
emotional
let's
damage.
like nigga.
Emotional damage.
Again, that goes back to go sit down, get your shit together, and then come back
Yep.
stronger in the game, bro. Get your head right, you come back in the game. Now it should never be that. It should never come to that. Again, every relationship you in should get the best version of you. You shouldn't have to give the next person 50% of you because the last relationship, quote unquote, got my quotations out. You can't see me, like Cuz said, failed. You know what I'm saying? And now, you're not willing to do the things that you did for the last one to this one. It should never come to that.
I have a question. It might be off topic, but Coop, you had mentioned before about the women out there, the girls out there today expect that you already have your life put together and they expect you to pay for everything. Do you feel like that's coming from the fact of they're hurt or they're wounded or they're just immature? They don't know. Like, why do you think that they're expecting you already to be built up and you be able to pay for everything?
Well, thank you for asking that. I will be gladly to answer. Okay. Honestly, I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman, honestly. But I just gonna gather from what I see and my perspective and the narrative that's pushed. I think that's the narrative that's pushed now. Through music, through these well again, it could be bitter, it could be hurt women, you know. Usually the older women supposed to be teaching the younger women, like, what I'm saying, the right way of doing things. Again, I'm not a woman, so I don't want to overstep my boundaries on that perspective. But I can I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah, and it is again from probably this question. I don't know why that is per se, but again, ever since I seen, it started was when Carly B came into the game. Female rappers are like that. So that narrative is kind of pushed now onto the younger generation. So now every female kind of feel like that's the goal now because it wasn't like that at one point in time. Again, like I said before, there was some down ass females that would fuck with you when you were down and help you, what I'm saying, put that motivation in you, put life into you, even put funds into you for you to become who you is now or a better version of you now. But now it seems like, again, that's the narrative now. Everybody just wants a finished product now. No one is willing to build with you. You have to come to the table with the table for as a man. So that's where I made that statement and come from.
Okay. No, that okay, that helps. That makes sense. I have daughters who are younger. So,
Me
first of
too.
all, I don't want them. First of all, if that's their role model, I feel like somewhere in parenting I messed up. So let me be clear. If you following
Respectfully.
her,
That's right.
some I didn't teach you or some you weren't listening to.
That's right.
Um, because I do believe that if you're building something, that's a we thing
Right.
that we're building together. Because if I expect a finished product, then what the hell are you bringing to the table? Because you got to be hell of a, and it can't be
Exactly.
between your legs. Because probably if that's what you think it is, you don't even really know that power yet. Because you coming from a very superficial place from them songs, you don't even know sex magic and power and all that other stuff. We ain't even gonna get into it because you don't even know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even get it yet. You real surface and basic. So I do feel like if they're listening to that, then that is a not a good influence. And I also feel like younger people, females may not be listening to older females.
Facts.
And that may be part of the problem.
No, I think yes,
Oh, that
yes,
might that might be another
yes,
episode.
yes and no. Yes and
Mhm,
no.
mhm,
You
okay.
know, if they I really hope they listen to females like you. you know, because sometimes it feels like they listening to, again, it could be the hurt and damaged females that push that narrative. You know what I'm saying? Where you supposed to be the auntie and give them the game for real. Like, nah, this is like you just was just kicking. Nah, you supposed to build with that guy. You supposed to, you know what I mean, come together and like they're those females are being silenced. And the other females, the little hoes and the prostitute one thinking bitches, those are the ones that's in the front yelling out loud. So you can't really hear the real females because these other hoes and shit, excuse me, ladies, pardon my French, that they up front screaming loudly. And then like you, I have two daughters. So, you know, it's really kind of hard to, you know, I'm trying to give them the game. But it's really hard when you got these damaged, hurt females in the front pushing this narrative. You know, that's
Yeah.
why yeah.
No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And I do think that we have to speak louder. And like that can't be the voice. That can't be the only voice of black females. Like that that would break my heart. Because that's not how it is. And that's not yeah, that's just way off left base. And that's so media driven and so money driven and not heart driven.
Correct.
All of that kind of stuff. And yeah, there's got to be a better way to kind of make that connection and sort of bridge that gap and build that generational village of women who are talking, because yeah, there are a lot of wounded women that are my age and that are older. I grew up with a bunch of them. There are a lot of women in my family who aren't even married.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're hurt and they have all these horrible things to say about men. But I will tell you, every person in my life, male, female, especially my men, let me say that, especially the men in my life, my boys, all of them. If you in my life, I'm gonna make it better.
That's
Hands
right.
down, full fact. Whether we not in a relationship or not, you're gonna be whatever I got, you got. We're gonna share. I'm gonna make sure you're better because I want everybody around me to be building up. I don't come with these expectations or you got to do this. There are certain basic things I do, but not that I'm taking from you. Because if anything, I'm pouring into you. Because that's what it should be about. If you're in a relationship, you need to be pouring in. And I don't pour in with an expectation of a return.
That's perfect. And that's how it's supposed to go. And then, like you said in the beginning, when you said self, I don't know who specifically said. I think it was you. You said give and take. It's definitely a give and take. That's what a relationship is: give and take,
Mhm.
reciprocate.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for highlighting that and allowing me to express that a
Yeah.
little bit more.
What happened to the man taking accountability? I mean, when you're starting a relationship, you're telling to the next woman that you're able to carry her, you're able to provide, you're able to do. So now I feel like in our society, the man feel like they don't need to do anything. They don't need to provide, they don't need to protect, they don't need to do anything. That's what the shift came in, because if we're talking about relationships, let's go back to the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s. The man goes out and he provides, right? As the woman sit home with no money, right? And what is her job, right? That's her way of providing, right? So now that we're in a society where, yeah, we both can work, but as a man, how are you able to carry yourself in this relationship as the a king? That's what y'all want to be called, right? A king. How are you carrying yourself in this relationship as a king if you can't even think go or please, right? I got to teach you that, right? So as
No.
I'm
Okay, sorry.
how
Go ahead.
to finish, right? Because y'all had 10, 20 minutes. So I'm trying to figure out,
Yeah, do
when
your
do you
thing. Go
take
ahead.
a man and start to build yourself, find ways to build yourself, find other men to build yourself? When do you start yourself? When does that start? Because as a woman, I follow. I've never heard anything else, no race, no religion, nothing in the world that says a man follows a woman. Can anybody tell me where you find that at? Because for some reason in our world, it feels like if a
I
woman
can.
doesn't,
I can.
if a
Okay.
woman can't help, then a man can't go. And that's not how the world was supposed to be. As a man, you are on top, right? The Lord and then yourself. In any religion, any lifestyle, that's how you guys want to be taught, how you want to be. So it's nothing wrong as me as a woman being a nurturer. That's my job, is to help along as you do for you. Self character as a man. It's not enough men saying, you know what, I'm broke right now. I don't need to be in a relationship. Right now, my heart is